What up, yo? Zingle Trades, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my strategy. Basically, I'm going to back test it for you guys, show you guys how to determine my drawn liquidity, bias, entry model, how I chart things in the morning, go over it. It's actually pretty simple. So follow along. Basically, what I like to do is I always come into the day on the high or on a high time frame, and I mark things out and I work my way down. So starting out here, we have a new week opening gap. We're back testing January of last year. This is Monday the 27th. So right here. Basically, we come in. So we got a new day opening gap that we left ahead right here. Right up here. And then previous day highs right there. Previous day highs right there. As you can see, we also have some lows down here that we could target on the daily time frame. Right there, right there. All right, boom. We're gonna come into the 4-hour time frame now. All right, so 4-hour time frame, we have a few 4-hour bearish gaps right here. Now what could happen? We could sweep this low and then head up towards this new week opening gap because this is a very strong draw on liquidity. But let's see. So what I always like to do is I skip to 9 o'clock. So if we do that, it looks like we inverse this hourly fair value gap right here. So, and what I always do next is I mark out my session highs and lows. So we have London session high, Asia session high, London session high, and then Asia session high is at the new week opening gap right there. So we do have some bullish draws. Now, do we have bullish SMT? That's something I always need to check for. So let's check. Do we have bullish SMT? Looks like we absolutely do. So pretty much ES did not sweep these lows right here, these hourly lows, while NQ did. So we inverse an hourly gap to the upside. We have session highs above and a new week opening gap, and we have bullish SMT. So my bias has now flipped to bullish, but we keep working our way down. So let's go down to the 15-minute time frame. Let's skip to 9:15 right here. All right. So what do we got? We are in a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. I want to see price trade out of that. There's really no bullish fair value gaps on ES though. We do have some 15-minute highs right here, and those same 15-minute equal highs right there. So, okay, cool. We're going to come into market open. It's at 9:15, so let's wait. Oh. Oops. All right. Sorry, 9:30. I know I kind of got a preview of what just happened, but 9:30. So we're still in this 15-minute gap right here. We inverse this hourly gap, so I'm still pretty bullish. Let's see if we got like any 5 minutes that we're in. So we're in a 5-minute on ES right here. And then let's check NQ. We're also in a 5-minute right here. So 5-minute and a 15-minute fair value gap, market opens, boom, right here. Now, what do we have above? We have London session highs, I think were the ones. London session high was all the way up here if I was not mistaken. Okay, boom. So I know this is kind of like an internal high, but basically what I want to see is we just swept out these internal highs. So I want to see what happens. All right, we shoot all the way up. Let's see for a retracement. And boom, right there. So what happened? We shot up, retraced into a 1-minute, or this is probably like a 3-minute gap as well, if I'm not mistaken. Did not tap into the 3-minute, but we tapped into the 2-minute, and then we had a strong displacement going out of it with an easy draw ahead or above us. So what I'm going to do is set my TP targets right there, and I would actually I would only trade 5 micros on this. Or sorry, not even, because this looks like a very bullish day. I would trade, there we go. So I would trade 3 micros on this, targeting $800 above. So what happens? All right. So now we're going to move our stops up right here. And we're going to move to break even. And okay, so boom, we get break even. That's fine. We got break even. Now let's maybe try and find a entry again. So we have this 15-minute gap that we left behind. And ES just tapped into the same 15-minute gap right here. So I want to see what happens here. All right, so we have this 15-minute gap. So I want to see price tap into it before anything, which we do. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I also want to mark out equilibrium, which it looks like ES tapped into it, but pretty much what we got is we have some internal bullish SMT on top of our external. So that's an extra something we want to see. And then we inverse this 1 minute gap, and honestly this is probably like a 2 minute gap as well that we inverse. Yep. So we're going to take this. We're going to take this trade. I'm going to put my stops right here. And then I'm still going to be targeting all the way up there. So what happens once we take out this high, I'm going break even. So boom, break even. And London session high was tapped. Boom, trade number one. And then there's $1,000 made on that trade. So it was actually a lot better than the first one because we had a smaller stop loss. And then the bias was still the same. So you know what, sometimes you're gonna get break even, but if the draw is the same, you can still look for another entry to the draw. But there's that. Let's go to the next day. All right, so boom, next day. This is Tuesday the 28th. We have 10 a.m. news. So what do we got here? We tapped into this 4-hour gap, which I always start on the daily. I almost forgot. Let's start on the daily. Now we still have this new day opening gap up here. We have previous day low right there. Let's go to the daily here. New day opening gap, or new week opening gap, sorry. And then previous day low down there. We're in a bearish 4-hour gap as well, so that's something to note. Also in a 4-hour bearish gap. So besides that, really nothing else on the 4-hour time frame I can note. Let's skip the 9. And then, all right. So we're down on the hourly time frame. What do we see here? A whole lot of nothing. So a whole lot of chop. Now let's mark out session highs and lows real quick. So we swept. Actually, hold on. Let me see here. Okay. So let's see. Oh, this is New York AM. So we pretty much swept previous day New York AM session right here. We same on here. We have London session low, Asia session low, and then previous day New York AM low. So we got a lot of lows to the downside, and there's not really any draws besides this new week opening gap. And we don't really have bearish SMT. So in this situation, there are days like this where you will just not know where the market's going to go. I don't really know where it's going to go this day, but that's totally fine because we don't predict where the market goes. We react. So let's see. We're going to go to 9:15. Now, this looks like a day, honestly, I might not even trade, but let's see here. We got a 15-minute gap that we just respected, 15-minute gap. I want to skip to 9:30. So boom, market is going to open right here. So boom, market opens. Let's see what happens. Okay, big displacement candle to the downside. Now, we're in a 15-minute gap. We got lows right here. We got lows right here. So we got a lot of lows we could target. Yeah, so we got all these kind of lows we can target. If I'm not mistaken, London session low is going to be down here on ES. We also have Asia on both we can target. So with a close like this, out of a 15-minute gap, now I would take that, but do we have bearish SMT? That's what matters. There's no SMT, there's no trade for me. So we end up sweeping this high on both. So we don't have any bearish SMT. So I would not take this trade. Even though right there looks like a fantastic entry, I'm not going to take that trade because I don't break my rules. Now let's see what happens. All right, so we got Asia lows below. Boom, we're gonna take those out. And then, all right, cool. So, we come up here. Now, we still have a new week opening gap as my main draw. We also have this internal high here. So if we inverse this gap, I would take this because NQ did not sweep Asia session low, ES did. And what we have is a high, and then Asia high is all the way up here. So I would definitely take that. If it inverses this gap, which we end up inversing what it looks like this 2-minute. But I don't like the close, so I'm gonna wait for the 1 minute. Okay, boom. I'm taking that right there. Stops here. And then we can just take that all the way up to this high right here. Break even. Boom. Game time. And honestly, we could have taken that all the way up here, but I just like taking my dubs, especially on a 2RR. So boom, there you go. There's another dub right there. That's basically how I trade. Now, what did I take in this trade at bullish SMT? We had a lot of displacement, but right here, I know I said I could have taken this this inverse, which I know it inverses 2-minute gap right here, but I didn't like the close on that. So I just wanted to see this 1 minute get closed, but this right here was a pretty strong close, especially coming out of a 1 minute gap. So I definitely was going to take that continuation, and then internal high all the way up here. I took this internal high right there. So boom, that's how I trade. I hope y'all learned something. Y'all have a good one.